Federal Agriculture Minister Barnaby Joyce has foreshadowed a possible review of Australia's farm drought relief management arrangements, according to a range of sources. He told ABC Rural that he would consider changes to the former government's farm finance package following a tour of drought-affected country in his home state of Queensland. Late last week, the National Farmers Federation urged the federal and state governments to finalise details of a national drought policy inherited from the former federal Labor government. The policy was very light on, wouldn't come in for another 9 months and provided little comfort for producers in yet another drought event, spokesman Brent Finlay said. Western Australian pastoralists and the state government look set for a legal showdown over leases covering 90 million hectares of agricultural land. The Pastoralists and Graziers Association said this week the government had no right to impose onerous new tenancy conditions when existing leases are expected to expire in 2015, according to the West Australian. Pastoralists fear new leases will give the state unprecedented powers of termination with no right of appeal on financial, animal welfare and environmental grounds. New South Wales farmers have welcomed the establishment of a new grain harvest freight weight management scheme, announced by New South Wales Roads Minister Duncan Gay. The new scheme would provide flexibility of up to 5% over general mass limits for both gross vehicle mass and axle group masses. Farmers spokesman Bill McDonald said it was almost impossible to know with any accuracy the weight of a truck when it left the farm during harvest. The new scheme would provide farmers with the confidence to load to the current legal limits, knowing that if they went marginally over, they would not be penalised. Storing and using low germination or low vigour seed stock are among the easiest ways for grain growers to set back their next season before it even starts, according to the Grains Research and Development Corporation. GRDC Commercial Farm Technologies Manager Paul Mybush said this week that checking seed quality will pay dividends later in the harvest cycle. Seed with low germination or growth traits should be avoided as they have a direct effect on the emergence and uniformity of the next season's crop. Variety and purity should be confirmed and good records should be kept so growers would know they were only planting the varietal line they wanted. Talking of seed quality, Australia is to chair the governing body of an international treaty on plant genetic resources for the first time since it was adopted by the United Nations in 2001. Australia's Matthew Worrell was elected chair of the governing body of the International Treaty on Plant Genetic Resources for Food and Agriculture in late September. Australia's Chief Plant Protection Officer, Dr. Vanessa Finlay, welcomed Matthew Worrell's election and the opportunities the treaty provided. Access to plant genetic resources such as seeds was essential for the development of new crop varieties which were the building blocks of a strong agricultural industry, Vanessa Finlay said. Australian wool innovation has returned to the classroom with a brand new education resource for primary and secondary schools. Developed in conjunction with the teachers, the free Learn About Wool kits include multimedia presentations, fabric and fibre samples, fact sheets and posters. The educational resource delivers information on production, processing, marketing and the high fashion features of Australia's natural fibre. Eggs have been back in the news with supermarket chain Woolworths' announcement last week that it would progressively phase out retailing cage eggs from 2015. Farmers responded saying the retailer would be denying a vital source of lower cost protein to low income earners. Adding fuel to the Australian debate, the UK Soil Association this week said the European Union's ban on the use of battery cages had made little difference to the lives of laying hens. The European ban on so-called conventional battery eggs would not mean that hens would range freely, nor would they be kept in cage-free barns. Rather, they would be housed in small groups inside larger cages. Well, that's it for Digital Farm TV Rural News this week. I'll look forward to your company again next week. Look after yourself. I'm Andy Walker.